Welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I'm Eric on the bar today. Glen Garioch, Renaissance Chapter 3, 17-year-old, Part 3 in a 4-part story. Single malt whiskey from the Highland region of Scotland. As always, nose taste finish review of this is coming your way. I will also tell you a bit about the value, share my final thoughts, give it a final score, we'll leave you with a malt musing. But first, if you haven't, take a sec, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy these reviews, I put them out as often as possible, and we'll also make sure you get updates for any live streams that I'm doing. So, Glen Garioch, as I mentioned, this is a Highland single malt Scotch. The tail of the tape here on this one. So again, this is part of a 4-part story. They claim it, they say it's kind of about the fascinating progress of the spirit in the cask. There you go. They have a 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-old. It's an unpeated whiskey. It is bottled at 50.8% ABV. That's very encouraging. 17 years old. It does say here in some cursive writing that it is a non-chill filtered whiskey, which is great. Unsure about color or not. And well, it doesn't tell us specifically about the color. It does tell us about its maturation. It says 17 years in bourbon and sherry casks. So there you go. That's the tail of tape on this. Let's peek. Nice. Okay. On the nose. Ooh. So the sherry definitely is showing up. Dry fruit, almost spicy. There's some sweet, kind of bright red fruits in the background and some citrus. That citrus is orange and lots of it. God, that nose is really nice. Glen Garioch I've always found to be kind of a dessert-like single malt, particularly their very nice 12-year-old. Was one of my top whiskeys of the year, I think a few years back. They're very rich. And this one's no exception. Dense, fruity, hints of kind of toffee, orange, some like light chocolate, roasted coffee bean, oak. It's very much in that on the spicier side. But that fruit's in there. So we'll see how it balances out. Citric and spice. Okay, let's give it a taste. Neat launch. Really, really nice. As I was mentioning, their whiskeys tend to be on the richer side, and this one is no exception. Full mouthfeel. It's got a really heavy palate. You get hit with that sherry right away. Dried red fruits, almost like Christmas spices, orange, toffee, light chocolate in the back. Gets spicier as it goes into the finish. It's like light on the kind of almost like a cinnamon candy. Oak comes in for a medium dry finish, which is lasting quite some time. You're getting kind of malted milk ball, roasted coffee, that orange note still there, maybe even a little bit of lemon. Very, very impressive. The Glenmorangie pitcher is filled with some water, so let's put a few drops on this. This is 50.8%, so a little bit of water. We'll do 3 drops, see what happens here. Open this whiskey up a little bit more. Here we go. Gingerbread. It's such a warming, inviting, cozy whiskey. Very relaxed, yet powerful, and again, dense. Much more citrus now. Even I'm getting more of this kind of orange, blood orange kind of note. The cinnamon, that little hints of vanilla, that bourbon cask showing up a bit with water. Let's give it a taste. Yeah. What a ride. It rides, again, dense but soft, full mouthfeel. You're getting much more of the bourbon cask with the water. It really is coaxing that out. Vanilla notes, a little bit of like a nutmeg thing with the toffee. than the oak spice, a little bit more drying with water. Even at 50.8%, I almost prefer this a little bit neat as opposed to with water. However, just because I'm not as huge a fan of that kind of the intensity of this drying note, but it's still pretty balanced. Just a little bit drier with water. Long finish, sweet, cherry. There's just, again, these dark Christmas spice notes, allspice, orange. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. Let's talk about the value. So again, this is part of a 4-part series. This is the 17-year-old. I do like their minimalist presentation. You can find a bottle of these depending on where you're shopping. In the UK, Europe, you can sometimes find these for around like $110 US. Here in the States, maybe 120, 130. So not a bad price at all. While you might have to hunt a bit for this whiskey, I think it is worth hunting for. And for a whiskey with a 17-year-old age statement, it's increasingly difficult to find them with in that lower hundreds price range. So let's get right into the final thoughts. As you can tell, I'm a fan. I've really never had anything from Glen Garioch that I didn't enjoy, and this is no exception at all. I really like the marriage of the bourbon and the sherry in this. I think they're balancing off each other well. Nothing is overpowering the other. I did like it neat over with water, even though it is bottled at a very nice 50.8% ABV. It still was a not too intense and could be enjoyed neat. If you're a fan of rich sherry malts, dessert type whiskeys, this is right in there. I have to even mention, I'm getting a pipe tobacco note right now, which is really, really kind of nice. Still going. You really can't go wrong with this whiskey, y'all. I'm a big fan, and my score is going to reflect that. This is a 4 out of 5 whiskey for me, which means I recommend you go find yourself a bottle of this, particularly if you like Oloroso sherry whiskeys and bourbon sherry cask matured whiskeys. This is right in the wheelhouse. Non-chill filtered, 50.8%. One of the better aged sherry malts, sherry forward malts that I think I've had recently. So high praise for the Glen Garioch 17 Renaissance Chapter 3. Let me know in the comments, have you had this or any other Glen Gariochs before? Would love to hear your thoughts. And with that 4 out of 5 score, I'm going to finish this dram, and I'll catch you next time on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Thanks so much.